What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, back for another edition of What If Midoriya Was Confident. Last time on What If Midoriya Was Confident, the USJ arc occurred, but with some major changes. Everyone made it out safe and alive, with the League suffering an even greater loss and not even weakening All Might or damaging Aizawa 13. The darkness is being pushed down for now, but what about later? Find out in this edition of What If Midoriya Was Confident. Midoriya snapped awake in the infirmary. He groaned when he tried to move, and he heard a tisk tisk tisk. Recovery Girl scolds him for trying to get up when his body's so overworked and sore. Midoriya apologizes, and there's a knock at the door. Recovery Girl lets them in, and Uraraka and Ida rush in. They check on Midoriya, who greets them warmly and asks if they're alright. They'll scold him for worrying about them, and he laughs. He's walked through on what happened after he passed out, and they tell him nothing much as the villains were rounded up, no one was taken in, and they were brought back to school. What Midoriya does get praised for is planning and combat skill, which Midoriya takes in stride and constantly compliments them both on their speed, understanding, and creativity. As the three chat casually, there's another knock at the door. Recovery Girl answers and then asks the other two to leave as Aizawa 13 and All Might walk in. Uraraka and Ida leave Midoriya and Aizawa sits down. And he ruffles Midoriya's hair, giving him a nod. He praises Midoriya heavily, but directly on his combat ability and how much it improved over such a short time period. 13 takes to praising Midoriya's planning skills, talking especially how he created the ploy to defeat the Nomu so soundly. All Might goes into the praise of Midoriya on his sheer leadership skills as he took charge of everyone, including the three pros there. Midoriya thanks them all for the praise, but admits there were a few parts where he could have done better. He begins the ramble, but as a reward, the three heroes listen to him. Then, in the midst of his rambles, Togata charges in, slamming his hands down on the bed. He questions if Midoriya is alright, and once he gets an affirmation, he nearly crushes his fellow student with a hug. Togata asks why Midoriya didn't just call him, and Midoriya says he couldn't because someone was blocking transmissions. And he asks the heroes if they ever found out who that was. The heroes admit they did find the guy, and Togata nods. Then he hears something before a blue blur rushes by and stares at Midoriya. A young woman, who is intrigued with Midoriya. She questions if he's the corkless boy Togata won't stop talking about, and Midoriya admits that he is. The blue-haired woman then barrages him with questions, like how many fighting styles he knows, his full name, where he came from, who trained him, his height, weight, and favorite food, and to everyone's surprise, Midoriya is able to answer quickly and coherently, all with a patient smile. Another man shuffles in, with dark blue hair, and Togata grins, pulling the woman back. He introduces them as fellow Big Three members, and they are the two top students who Midoriya will be training under. Tamaki Amajiki and Nejire Hado, one who is extremely quiet and the other who is extremely energetic. Midoriya silently notes that the Big Three are quite a group of characters, and he talks with them all as his body works itself back into shape. All Might is there, and he sees his two candidates, but who does he go with? Togata is obviously the better fighter. Despite Midoriya's great skill, he's seen and heard from Aizawa that Togata can still easily defeat Midoriya with his full power. Togata also has a potent quirk that he has trained with, and that would only make him stronger. However, he has yet to see Togata take up a true leadership stance. Sure, he has a lot of energy and a bright personality, and while some people do seem drawn to him, he didn't know people would so easily rally behind him like all the people at the USJ rallied behind Midoriya. There's something powerful about Midoriya's determination and confidence, along with his intelligence and strategy that impressed even All Might. Midoriya got up and threw a few punches and kicks to see how he felt. He was way too sore and fatigued. That Shigaraki guy may not have been the best of fighters, but he still had pretty ludicrous stamina and speed, and the acid burns from Ashido did him no favors. However, he still did really want to train with his superiors and to test himself and them, so he sent a kick for Amajiki. To his shock, Amajiki moved so fast that he couldn't comprehend the Big Three member, transforming and pinning him against the bed with tentacles. That was crazy, but crazy was to be expected with the Big Three, he supposed. He couldn't really comprehend a max speed Togata either. However, Amajiki is still surprised by Midoriya's bravery and gusto. Midoriya gets up and thanks them for agreeing to train with him. And then, Aizawa asks what he's going to do to train for the sports festival. Midoriya goes silent and asks if he can get an open board for him and Aizawa to discuss. Aizawa helped them get to the board as everyone left, and Midoriya dropped his plans to beat everyone in Class 1A, even Todoroki and Bakugo if they're trying to outrange him. Aizawa is shocked by the detail, and knows that Midoriya has planned this out for a really long time. Then Aizawa created a training regimen specifically for Midoriya, and Midoriya grins. He does have a chance. The training first begins against Hado, who is the Todoroki and Bakugo substitute, except she is way stronger. Midoriya is shocked by the raw power and is unable to dodge Hado. She helps him up, and he tries again. After multiple tries across multiple days, Midoriya has finally begun to understand the arcane ways of energy. He quickly compares them to Todoroki's ice and realizes that they are comparable in speed, and begins to weave through and react to the random patterns, and he lunges through the many varying waves and finally manages to tag Hado. However, he specifically goes for the left side, as he knows to abuse Todoroki's reluctance to use it. Hado is impressed, and then moves to the next step, Midoriya's sheer durability. Midoriya gets blasted, and he learns to just take it and get stronger from fighting her again and again and again. Then the two leap into hand-to-hand combat, with Hado using her quirk to amp herself like Bakugo would. Midoriya is continuously getting annihilated. but he always gets back up with that determined grin of his as he develops. He never manages to beat her, but she tells him he's doing better and better. Then his training with Amajiki begins, and he realizes how unprepared he was to fight a true mutant-like Transformer. He's dominated by the simply moving wall of tentacles, unable to get even close to the main body the way Amajiki moves. Midoriya then realizes he must do one thing he never thought he'd have to do, and hone solely his reaction time. He starts to think less and less, and solely acts on muscle memory and his senses, moving and using Amajiki like a jungle gym to get closer. Midoriya is silent with determination, weaving through each strike best he could with his flexibility and movement. However, it still takes him a lot of time to even react to and develop enough to fight this suppressed Amajiki. However, after another week, he manages to tag the main body. Then, they fight in close combat, and Midoriya is getting annihilated. He isn't exactly sure how he would deal with that without just getting better at fighting. So, he just keeps getting beaten down, and keeps getting up, and Amajiki repeats Hato's words about Midoriya doing better, and actually gets comfortable around Midoriya, a feat in of itself. The 2 weeks of training go well for Midoriya, and he's currently resting and meditating outside the middle of the UA training field. He is reflecting on his fight with Shigaraki in the USJ, and the numerous details he picked up on. The Nomu was a tool, not a person with multiple quirks. That was unnatural. Every person was born with one quirk, and there were no studies that suggested what would happen if another quirk was forcefully implanted. The Shigaraki guy really wanted to kill All Might, but he obviously was not working alone. He was too wild, uncoordinated, done all that villain gathering work himself. There was also no way he was actually smart enough to create the Nomu, or had a special ability to. There are too many holes in that entire situation unless there was a ringleader that didn't show their face. As Midoriya began to run through possible villains that could have been the cause of the attack, he felt a chill run down his spine. He blocks Togata with an arm, and Togata praises him. He claims he's ready, or at least as far as he can go right now. Any more training and Midoriya would be too tired for the festival. And Togata thinks, but does not vocalize the fact that Midoriya may be quickly approaching plateauing as a fighter. Midoriya thanks him for all the help, and Togata explains that he enjoyed training with Midoriya. He was shocked and impressed that a quirkless boy could get so far with just hard work. Midoriya thanks him for that, and to his shock, Ida runs up to challenge Midoriya. Midoriya declines, citing the idea of too much training, which disappoints both Ida and the approaching Uraraka. They have been training too and wanted to test themselves against Midoriya. However, Midoriya offers that they all just rest and meditate, and that is where we leave our friends for now. However, the time passes and the sports festival is here. We get to the part where the big race is about to start up, and we get to the part where the speeches actually come up. However, to the shock of everyone, there are two separate speeches. Bakugo gives a very similar speech to in canon. It's just that the speech has a bit more edge towards the other speech giver, Midoriya. Midoriya takes the mic with a trademark grin and rouses everyone up with a powerful speech about their individuality, their strengths, and wishes them all a good chance in the festival. He balances out the chaotic energy created by Bakugo, and he gets ready for the race. When the starting gun goes off, Midoriya jumps, and just as predicted, Todoroki instantly throws everyone to the ground. And as Midoriya lands, he chases down the running powerhouse. Everyone else frees themselves after a time, but Kirishima, Tetsu, Bakugo, and Yaoyorozu do it quickly. Midoriya is fine with this, and waves as he passes Todoroki and continues sprinting hard. He had trained his stamina so high with endurance specifically for moments like this, and Todoroki went to freeze him when Bakugo threw an explosive hand at him, distracting the Ice Titan from the quick green-haired boy. They come across the entrance exam robots, but to the audience's shock, Midoriya just casually dodges and weaves through their lines and attacks. He's unfazed by them, as all his combat speed training has turned even the faster bots into snails for him. 3 people are specifically cheering Midoriya on, though one is doing it under their breath. Todoroki spikes up an ice wall to throw Bakugo off of him, and focuses on Midoriya, who is taking his time to drastically widen their gap. Midoriya has even managed to completely evade and outmaneuver the mighty zero-pointers. Todoroki took it down quickly, and then Bakugo came in once again to throw Todoroki off. Todoroki gets enraged, but can't do anything about Midoriya, who is casually about to cross the chasm. He's pretty relaxed, pacing himself as he gets to the final section. Todoroki and Bakugo are brawling, tearing into one another and causing more havoc for racers behind them. And Midoriya actually pretty easily makes it past the minefield as the buried mines are unsubtle, and he gets first casually. However, the true interesting parts come from the back-end racers. Ida, after finally breaking free, instantly bursts to his top speed, rushing down the track in a hard sprint with a determined glare. Uraraka gets free and runs, before tagging herself and jumping, and holds it down as she tumbles through the air, free-floating. Netta is still chilling on Yaoyorozu's back, as she basically just runs and occasionally creating, like in canon. Jiro actually broke out super early due to the cracking in the ice with her earphone jacks. It's just that she failed to train her stamina. Also, he's actually a bit sluggish from the start due to the cold, but after she heats up a bit, gains her stride, she's actually doing super well. Tokiyami is roared free of the ice and lunges forward. The strong man in Choji breaks free, but is still rather slow. A lot of 1A is still able to move, and so is a lot of 1B. However, a certain purple-haired man from General Studies has taken action on the lesser people. Ida blazes past the brawling Ice Titan explosion users, managing to get second, honestly right behind him in third, and Uraraka rolls in through fourth. Even Tokiyami is able to beat the 2 brawlers, who come in just after. The race is over, and Midoriya is pretty relaxed until he notices purple hair He's confused to see why both Sato and Ojiro were helping a general studies kid survive. It does not comment as he has to focus on the next event. He goes to the 3 people he knows he can win with. He grabs Todoroki, Ida, and Uraraka. Before anyone can protest, Midoriya explains how their team composition is actually unstoppable. Ida is way too fast for anyone else with his quirk, and he may be a fantastic spearhead for the team. He explains that Todoroki would be unstoppable with his defensive ice and his offensive ice. No one will be able to cross his wall. And then Uraraka, the failsafe to the failsafe to the failsafe, could make them float if their opponents somehow get too close. Ida goes to decline the offer anyway, but instead of submitting and letting him go, Midoriya plays to Ida's sense of duty. He asks why his loyal deputy would abandon him, or why a hero would part from their faithful partner and friend over such a trifle as pride. This gets Ida, and Todoroki actually agrees, no argument. In this story, Midoriya doesn't have some stupid busted power for Todoroki and Endeavor to want to conflict with, so he just respects Midoriya as a good tactician. Uraraka agrees as well, because she doesn't like her other options and she's pretty sure her current team is unstoppable. The team is made and the cavalry battle begins. Just as Midoriya predicted, everyone hunted them down. And once again, as Midoriya predicted, no one could even get close to them. Team Bakugo stays the same in this timeline, and Bakugo instantly lunges for Midoriya, easily clearing his team and lunging the distance between them with a few explosions. Instead of even bothering to confront Bakugo, Midoriya tells Todoroki to create an ice spire. When Bakugo detonates it, he's shocked to find his enemies gone, and Taro had to save him from elimination. Now, Team Yaoyorozu, consisting of her, Kaminari, Asui, and Shoji, attack the top team. Midoriya actually baits Yaoyorozu into creating a pole to try and outrange him, and he easily grabs the pole from her and tells Ida to pull while Todoroki pushes, and the 2 teams break apart. Midoriya then broke off a piece of ice and tells Uraraka to disable the tank team with Soji. Uraraka grins and understands, grabbing the icicle and pitching it into the opening. Once he passes out from the inside, Shoji begins to shiver and Kaminari sparks out of fear, disabling the entire team. Team Monoma lunges in, reaching for the headband, when Midoriya easily thrusts the pole into Monoma's chest, knocking Monoma back as he snags the headband. Monoma still managed to tag Midoriya, but realized he played himself because Midoriya was quirkless. The cavalry battle was easy for the top team. Some interactions stay the same though, like Team Bakugo and Team Monoma, and it ends rather simply. The teams that make it to the tournament are Team Midoriya, so Midoriya, Uraraka, Ida, and Shoto, Team Bakugo, so Bakugo, Ashido, Kirishima, and Sero, Team Yaoyorozu, meaning Yaoyorozu, Asui, Shoji, and Kaminari, and finally Team Shinso, so Shinso, Ojiro, Sato, and Shiozaki. Yeah, so it's just a bit different. And that is where we're leaving off for this week. So, this week was a lot more just setup for the big final tournament. We saw Midoriya meet the other 2 Big 3 members, and I wonder how their training is going to factor into this massive fight that's coming up. And all these things that Midoriya is thinking about so far about the USJ attack. What could that mean for the future? Well, you're ready to find out next time on the next edition of What If Midoriya Was Confident.